Hey, how's it going? My name's Yuka and welcome to my channel. Initially for this video, I had a different idea in mind, so I didn't film a proper intro. So I was planning on filming everything that I ate throughout the week. I learned quickly that it was a little difficult because I wasn't fully prepared for it. So one of the issues that I faced while I was trying to eat healthier was that if I were having to run out of the house or if I was running late or something and I didn't have time to eat at home, I would end up buying something unhealthy. So not only was I eating unhealthy, but I was also wasting money. So I found that when I meal prep, it's really easy for me to just be prepared. So overall, it just helps to save money and then also make healthier decisions. So this kind of goes back to my Trader Joe's haul and basically what I'm making from that haul. So let's just dive right into it. How's it going? So it's lunchtime. So I kind of create rules for myself. So to hold myself accountable, I make at least 4 days worth of meal prep lunches, and if I get through all of them, then by like Friday, then I can treat myself out to lunch or something like that. So I thought that I would just show you guys exactly how I make this and how I prep everything. So what I'm going to be making is the chicken souvlaki, a Greek salad, some tzatziki sauce, some rice, and then as I showed in my grocery haul, I have this quinoa stuffed dolmas. I usually just get the regular dolmas, but they were out, so that's why we're just trying the quinoa ones, and who knows, maybe we'll like these even better. And then I'm just trying out this Greek eggplant with tomatoes and onions. I've never tried it before, so we can try it together. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through exactly how I do it. In the next clip, I'm gonna show you guys how I season the chicken. I do like to season it and let it sit overnight, so I will come back tomorrow to show you guys how I cook it. But let's just get started. Okay, so I do like to keep it pretty simple. I don't know if this is simple to you guys, but so I just have salt and pepper, which I have a little bit of garlic, and then I have a lemon here, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, and then I have thyme, so I'm gonna add it, but this is totally optional. I know thyme isn't something that everybody always has on hand, so if you have it, you can add it, but if not, totally fine. You would usually just add a bunch of fresh lemon juice, but since I don't have as many lemons, I'm gonna just add some lemon juice. So just starting out with salting this chicken, just make sure that the chicken is evenly coated, and then I just do the same thing with pepper. I forgot to mention also you will need olive oil, so just make sure you have that available. Okay, garlic powder. And onion powder. So I'm gonna add fresh garlic in there. And I do really like to add fresh onion also, but it's optional. I'm just keeping it simple today. And then oregano. And then I have thyme, so I'm adding it, but like I said earlier, it's totally optional. You don't need it. I don't add it every single time. Then flipping these over and doing the exact same thing on the other side. So we're gonna just have a bowl available, and I'm going to just take this chicken, put it on a cutting board. And so these are gonna go on skewers, so you wanna keep these like 1/2 inch size, but it doesn't have to be perfect really. You want to keep the pieces like relatively around the same size because you want them to cook at the same rate, and if they're different sizes, like some of them might burn and not cook in time. Now just throw all of that in here. So I'm just gonna throw on a few tablespoons of olive oil here. Just make sure everything is completely coated. Okay, so I'm just getting a new knife. You can use a lemon squeezer if you have one, but you don't need it. And then set the peel aside because we're gonna add that as well. Next, just slice these peels into small pieces. Throw these right on top. Then I'm gonna just add a touch more of lemon juice in there. Next, garlic. So I already added garlic powder, so if you don't want it to be super garlicky, you don't need to do this, but I am going to add a few cloves of fresh garlic. So if you want to just smash the garlic, it releases the allicin. Then I'm just gonna toss the whole entire clove in there. So I'm not gonna cut it up, I'm just gonna throw them in there. It's just peeling off So this is what it looks like, and I'm just gonna toss everything together. Make sure that the olive oil is completely coating all the pieces, and distribute the garlic and the lemon peels throughout. All right, it's that simple. It's that easy. Then I get some saran wrap and just cover this and then throw it in the fridge overnight. And today is the next day. So I'm gonna start out with rice. So for Greek food, usually I would make a rice pilaf with some basmati rice. And basically what basmati rice is, it's just a longer grain, and I would say it's like slightly more drier than a jasmine rice. I guess they're very similar. It's just basmati rice is a little bit longer of a grain. So that's usually what I would put in like a rice pilaf, but because I'm on the 30-day challenge, I'm going to opt for a brown rice. And so I used to be really against brown rice. I used to hate it with my whole soul, but what I started to do was I started to actually cook it with chicken broth, and it makes it so much better. So the reason why I didn't really like brown rice was, one, I didn't like the texture, two, I didn't like how it was so plain tasting. But when you cook it with chicken broth, like the flavor is there and it's so good. And so when I started doing that, it made me actually enjoy eating brown rice. So today for this video, I'm gonna be making brown rice, but just keep in mind that you can use whatever rice that you want. Like I said, I like to prep at least 4 days worth of food. So the way that I portion this out is I will make 1 cup of this brown rice, and I'll split it into 4 portions. So like a 1/4 cup per meal. So starting out with just measuring this out and then putting that right in there. And so I'm gonna wash this really quickly, and then I will be right back. Okay, so the rice is now washed and drained, and I like to just cook it with a can of chicken broth just because it's easy. You can just use the whole thing. You don't have to. So I mean, technically the measurements, like you would have a tiny bit left over, but I just throw it all in there because I don't like to waste the chicken broth, and I don't have any other uses for it this week. But anyways, this is what we're gonna use. So I just use a can opener, open this up. And what's great about using chicken broth instead of water in your brown rice is that the salt gives the brown rice so much more flavor than, you know, just cooking it with water. You can totally just stop right there and cook this, but I do like to add a little bit of garlic powder just for extra flavoring. But like I said, it's totally optional. So I'm just adding like a 1/4 teaspoon. Then put the lid on and cook. Simple as that. 20 minutes and you got yourself some rice. Okay, next we're gonna be making the tzatziki sauce, and it's so simple and so easy. So what you're gonna need is yogurt. So I'm using my homemade yogurt here, but you can use whatever yogurt you prefer. You can use regular yogurt or Greek yogurt if you would like it to be a little bit more of a thicker consistency. This is just regular yogurt though. And then some salt, a lemon, and then some cucumber. First we're gonna start by grating this cucumber. So I like to use the smaller side of the grater so that the pieces are smaller. And you can do this right onto a paper towel because we're gonna need to wrangle out the excess water. Then just get all of the cucumber on the paper towel and just make sure that you're doing this carefully so you don't slice any fingers. And next we are going to sweat this cucumber out by just putting some salt on it. It's going to pull out all of the excess water because we don't want that water in the tzatziki sauce, or else it's just going to get super watery. And then just let it sit for a few minutes. Okay, so it's been about a few minutes. As you can see, like the water has already started soaking in the paper towel, but I'll just show you guys how much comes out when I squeeze it into this bowl. And just like lightly press on it so that the liquid comes out. You don't have to get all of it out, but as much as you possibly can. So just, you can go ahead and dump that. Then you're gonna just plop this in your bowl. And it should just come off pretty easily. Okay, so next we're gonna just get some of our yogurt. So I'm probably gonna add about, let's start with 1/2 cup and see what the consistency is like. Then I completely forgot to mention, but you will want just a little bit of garlic. Another thing that I forgot to mention, which is totally optional, I made it without this before and it tastes very similar. So if you have dill, I would add it, but if you don't have dill, you don't have to go out and buy it just for this. I'm gonna put probably like a 1/4 teaspoon. Then just get your lemon and cut it in half. And and we're just gonna use the juice of it. Squeeze the juice in here. You definitely don't need this whole entire lemon, so I'm just putting in like a teaspoon of it. Go ahead and mix this up. All right, that looks amazing. And it smells amazing too. It's just so fresh and light, and it just, whew. All right, let's give it a taste and see how it is. That's very fresh. That's amazing. All right, simple as that. So set this aside. Okay, so for the Greek salad, what you're gonna need is a red onion, some tomatoes, and cucumbers. A little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, oregano, and you can use the rest of that lemon. I'm gonna start with the cucumbers. So just cutting off the ends, and I like to make everything, I like to cut the cucumbers in half, and then just cut into 1/4-inch pieces. And then just put them right into your bowl. Next, red onion. So we definitely don't need this whole thing. We're only gonna need probably less than 1/4 of it. Let's start with that much. Peel the excess skin off. I like to just cut these into the same size of as the cucumbers. So whatever size you cut those as, let's just make it around that size. So like 1/4-inch pieces. And then just go ahead and throw it right into the same bowl. Next up is a tomato. So just cut it in half. Same thing. So cut them into like this size, the size of a piece, you know, like a 1/4-inch. And then just put it in the same bowl. So I do like my salad to be kind of not as wet because I really don't like soggy vegetables. So I try to get as much of the pulp out, but it's really up to you and your preference. You don't have to do that. So just tossing those in there, and you know, if some of it falls in there, it's fine, no big deal. Now we have this colorful Greek salad. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, oregano. You want a little bit of that lemon juice, just adds a little bit of a freshness to it. Hit it with a little bit of olive oil. All right. Then you can just get a fork or a spoon and mix this all up. Give it a taste. Yep, perfect. All right. Okay, last, we have our seasoned chicken here. So it's been marinating overnight, and we're just gonna put these onto skewers. Smells good. So you can get these little skewers usually at any grocery store. I did have to cut them so that they fit into my pan so that they cook evenly. So these are a little bit shorter than your typical little skewers, but okay. So my hands are clean, so I'm just gonna go straight in with my hands. And what you do is super easy. You just literally grab a piece and you just put it right on there and just pierce it through and then put it all the way through, you know, kind of like a shish kebab. And so key thing is that you want to make sure that all of the pieces of the chicken are around the same size pieces so that they cook evenly, because if they're not, then you might either undercook your chicken or overcook it, depending on, you know, how long it takes to get through the rest. All right, there's one. And just go through the rest of these. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't really matter. So one thing that you do want to keep in mind is that you don't want to squish all of the meat down so far together, because then it may not cook all the way. So make sure that when you're putting them on, you are leaving a little bit of space so that, you know, they're not like fully on top of each other. They're just kind of next to each other. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish this up and then show you guys how I cook it. Okay, so this is all of them all prepped, and then I'm gonna just throw them on the stove. So I highly recommend getting one of these grill pans. It's only $20 on Amazon, and it's seriously a lifesaver. You get those amazing grill marks without actually having to use a grill, so it's perfect for, you know, if you don't have a grill. And it's also a cast iron, so, okay, so I have this on a medium-high heat, and few things here. So it does splatter, so I highly recommend getting yourself one of these like net things so that you cover it so that this oil doesn't splatter everywhere, because it will get pretty messy. So I have this on medium high. I'm gonna coat this in avocado oil. So the reason why I'm not using olive oil is because olive oil becomes rancid when you heat it to a super high heat, but avocado oil is okay to use at really high heat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw these straight on there. And make sure you don't overcrowd it so that they can cook evenly. So I'm just gonna do 4 at a time. And then I'm just gonna cover it. Check it in about like 3 minutes and see where it's at. So it's been about 3 minutes and I'm gonna flip these. Oh yeah, look at that. So these are done cooking, so I'm gonna just remove them and put them onto a plate. Alright, that's the last of it. Alright, and there we have it. That was pretty quick and easy. So I have my brown rice right here. The Greek salad, tzatziki right here, and the chicken souvlaki. I am going to plate this up and then I'm going to show you guys how I just meal prep throughout the week. So super easy, super quick. So I just use 1 cup of rice and then it comes out to like a 4th cup of rice per plate. So starting out with the rice, I'm just going to like eyeball it and divide it into 4 portions. So okay, another tip is everything that has to be warmed up, I'll put it in one of these glass Tupperware. But if it's something like this Greek salad, I'm not gonna put it in here because I'm gonna have to microwave this at some point when I eat it. So I do like to keep this separate, but it's just nice to have the rice all portioned out so you're not having to do it when you're, you know, on the run or something like that. Next, we have quite a bit of chicken here. So let's just see how much we have if I can just divide this equally. Myself 3 today. So I'm just putting the ingredients that I will have to warm up in these Tupperware and then everything else will be separate. So I just put the rice portion and the chicken in here and I'm gonna just put these aside. And now we have today's meal. So I'm going to just put some of this Greek salad right here. I'm gonna drizzle this tzatziki sauce right on top of the chicken. And then we're gonna try out these quinoa stuffed dolmas. So regular dolmas are just stuffed with rice, but this one's stuffed with quinoa. So, and I mean, I just feel like these probably do taste similar, but so I'm just gonna put 2 on here. I love dolmas, by the way, they're so good. And then testing out this eggplant, tomato eggplant thing. This looks good. So this is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. But it's just like this eggplant that's cooked in some sort of tomato and onion. So just put that on the side. So this will be my lunch for this week. Obviously this is plated, but it'll be the same portions throughout the week. And so my main thing is when I was trying to figure out how to eat when I wanted to lose weight, the biggest problem for me was that thinking that I had to eat lemon pepper chicken every day with broccoli and like brown rice made me really sad, because food is a big part of my life and not eating good was actually pretty depressing for me. But when I found out that you can actually create amazing meals like this with fresh ingredients, everything, you know, from scratch and organic, except for the dolmas and the eggplant tomato thing, like, you know, this is a very nutritious meal right here, and it's very healthy and it's light. Like you're only getting, you know, a 1/4 cup of rice here, three skewers, which is probably around 4 ounces of chicken. You got your Greek salad here, 2 dolmas, and then a little bit of the eggplant. Like, and so the way that I like to think of it is like, I just like everything to be super balanced. So you have like 1/3 of carbs, 1/3 of protein, and then 1/3 of vegetables. So then it's just an overall very well balanced meal. So, all right, so let's give this a shot. It looks amazing. So I'm gonna start with this, this tomato eggplant thing. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's actually really good. I would definitely get that again. It's just literally tomato and eggplant and onions. Like, it's light and really good. Okay, so let's go in on this chicken piece here. Oh yeah. So good, every time. Never disappoints. Just so fresh and light and healthy. Man, and it's not dry. That's really good. That chicken souvlaki recipe never disappoints. It's always just so good and so fresh tasting and light, so you don't feel like sluggish or heavy after you eat this. It's just really good. My Greek salad. It's good all rice, you know? All right, let's see how this dolma is. Okay, I can feel the texture difference because it's quinoa, so it's a little bit more grainy than the typical dolmas that are just use, that just use rice, but the flavor is still there. So it's really good. It's very subtle. It's a very subtle difference. If you are looking for maybe a little lighter option, I guess you can try the quinoa one. Like, I would probably go back to the regular ones, but these are good for now. Yeah, all right. I'm happy with this. Well, I'm gonna finish eating this, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Surprise, surprise, I also forgot to film the outro, so here we go. If you liked this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and if you want to see the recipe for this video, go to yucacalifornia.com. But yeah, I'd love to stay connected with you guys, so give me a follow on Instagram, TikTok. My handle on all social medias is yucacalifornia, and I'll have all of it listed in my description along with my website, so you can find the recipe for this video. And yeah, so thank you again for being here for this video, and until next time.